Let's keep practicing with FOIL. No fractions on this page, so good news. I know the last one was tough, but it's important to try tough problems too. Example 6 is a little different in that there's a number out in front of the parentheses. So we got to figure out what we're going to do with that. And the answer is that number can distribute inside one of the parentheses, not both. If you end up multiplying both parentheses by 5, you're really multiplying by 25 at that point. But we want to multiply the 5 just inside one of the parentheses. So then it's 5x minus 15 times x plus 4. And now we can decide FOIL or box method. I'm going to do a box method. I'm going to alternate on this page. So I'm going to do a box method for this problem. All right, so I make a box. We have 5x minus 15 and then x plus 4. Now, it does not matter. I could have written the 5x minus 15 on the top and the x plus 4 on the bottom, but it does matter that the signs go with those numbers. So it is important to think of this as a negative 15. And now we do our multiplication. So 5x times x makes 5x squared. 5x times positive 4 makes 20x. Negative 15 times x is negative 15x. And then negative 15 times 4 makes negative 60. All right, last step is the like terms, which are often in that diagonal. So our final answer is 5x squared, and then 20x minus 15x makes plus 5x minus 60. But that should be the exact same answer you get if you did regular FOIL after moving the 5 inside. The other option you could do is ignore the 5, FOIL what's there, and then multiply the result by 5. But I find that some students forget to do that last step of multiplying by 5, so I find it's easier to move it inside the parentheses first. So that's how I'm going to do it. All right, this next one, this negative sign is like a negative 1. So if it helps, write it like a negative 1, and then I'm going to move it inside these parentheses. I guess the y plus 3 I'm just going to leave. So that would make this negative y plus 1, because multiplying by negative 1 flips both those signs. And I said I was alternating, so I'm going to do regular FOIL on this. So first is negative y times positive y. That would be negative y squared. Outside, negative y times 3 makes negative 3y. Inside, plus 1y. And then finally, 1 times 3 makes plus 3. But those are the exact 4 things you would have gotten if you had organized it in a box as well. Same situation, we got some like terms. The negative y squared stays where it is. Negative 3 plus 1 makes minus 2y, and then plus 3. Nice. Hopefully that's making sense. And if you, that way, if you see a number in front of those parentheses, multiply that out first, just inside one of the parentheses though, not both. Let's try one where it's a trinomial now. I like using a box method when it's more than just a binomial times a binomial, because we can't really use FOIL, quote unquote. You can see my shadow fingers here, because there's definitely more than just FOIL. So a box works great. You don't have to though. If you sort of get the idea of, okay, I need to take x and multiply all 3 things over here. And then I need to take 3 and multiply all 3 things over here. Totally. I'm going to use a box to organize myself, because it does the same multiplications just in a way where I can keep track of everything. So I got x plus 3 on the side, and then we're going to have 3 along the top this time. X squared minus 5x plus 6. All right, let's get to multiplying. If it helps, put a 1 on this. X squared times x to the first, that makes x to the third power. 3 times x squared is 3x squared. X times negative 5x makes negative 5x squared. 3 times negative 5x makes negative 15x. 6 times x is 6x. And 6 times 3 is 18. Now, the other reason I like the box method is because the like terms are in the diagonals again. Look, the x squareds go with x squareds, and x's go with x's. So we got an x cubed that's all by itself, no like term for it. These two, if I have a negative 5x squared and a positive 3, that makes a negative 2x squared. Then negative 15x's plus 6x's make negative 9x's. And then a plus 18 left. Hopefully that makes sense. And certainly organizing it this way gets the same 6 multiplications as well. Last problem in this section. It's another volume. Find the volume of a box. All right, first I see volume of a box. That's not too hard. That's length times width times height. All right, and if it helps, we can draw a box. Let's see, I'm not super artistic. I know some of y'all are much better artists than I am. There's my box. All right, the height of the box is twice the width. So let me just write that. H equals 2W. And the length is 2 more than the width. That's different than twice. 2 more means the length is 2 plus W. So twice means multiply by 2, 2 more means add 2. Use W for the width, done. And says find the volume. All right, I think we got everything we need. I probably didn't even need that beautiful picture. We're just going to put this all together. Volume equals length, we got 2 plus W, times width, that's W, times height, which is 2W. Y'all see how that's still length times width times height. I just used the length and the height that they gave us in words. All right, what I'm seeing is these two combined make 2W squared, 2W times W. And now we just need to deal with these parentheses. And by deal with, I mean distribute. Look at that. We know how to deal with parentheses now. So we're taking 2W squared times 2. That would be 4W squared. And then 2W squared times W. If it helps, put a little 1 on your W to make sure you're counting it so that it's 2W to the third power. That is the polynomial that measures the volume of this box.